Hey guys, this is Eliza and welcome back to a new video. So today I'll be talking about my 21 most anticipated releases for 2021. I will try and go in order, so let's jump straight in. So releasing January 5th, we have Lore by Alexandra Bracken. This one is a YA fantasy retelling of Greek gods, and as far as I know, I haven't read a ton about this one because I like going into books not knowing things, but as far as I know, 9, I think, gods have to live in the body as humans or something, or get sent to Earth for a certain amount of time because they did something wrong. And then there's these people who are not their friends and is trying to kill them to get their powers. That's what I know. But by that, I'm intrigued. I'm also pretty certain that this is going to be in a subscription box in January. I read the synopsis that one of the boxes provided. I'm not gonna say which one, but I read the synopsis and I'm pretty certain this is what's gonna be in there. So I am very keen for that. The main cover is like very detailed, but also very plain in its colors, obviously, because it's just white and gold. So I'm very curious to see what exclusive edition is gonna happen. But anyways, so I loved the Darkest Minds series by Alexandra Bracken. I wasn't a hugest fan of Prosper Redding, but it is a middle grade and middle grades aren't always my thing. Like, I find the odd one that I enjoy, but for the most part, I don't enjoy middle grades that much. So to not like Prosper Redding was, yeah, that was whatever. But I did really enjoy The Darkest Minds. I've yet to read the 4th book, the one that got released later. Hold on, my cat wants to go out. Say hello. They can't see you, you're too short. So yeah, I haven't read The Darkest Legacy, which is like the 4th book in the Darkest Minds series. Like, you know, that one they added like years later. Haven't read that one yet, but I did really enjoy the original trilogy of The Darkest Minds. So I'm very keen to see what her fantasy series is going to be like. So next we have releasing January 12th, Across the Greengrass Fields by Shauna Maguire, which is the 6th and final book in the Wayward Children series. I love the Wayward Children series so freaking much. It is amazing. I can't wait for this next book, but I'm also super sad that this is the end of the series. It's gonna be sad that this is over because I would literally read like 100 more books based on like the Wayward Children series because there are so many more worlds you could explore, but it's the end. So I am super keen for it, but it is sad that it's the ending. And I have no idea what this one's about because it's the 6th book in the series and I don't want to know. But in case you're curious, Every Heart a Doorway, the 1st book in the Wayward Children series, is about Eleanor West's School for Wayward Children. And it's basically a school where kids can come after they've returned from fantasy worlds and have come back to our world and are not coping, or they're trying to get back to their magical world. Think like portal fantasies like Alice in Wonderland. That one also features a mystery, which I really enjoyed. And the other books weren't like murder mystery like the first one, but they were basically learning about and exploring different worlds that these children have belonged to. They were really fascinating. I'm assuming the last one is going to be along the same vein. I'm so keen. I'm just keen to see what new world this has that Shauna Maguire has thought up, because these are just so awesome and so detailed. For like a 200-page book, so much detail to these tiny little worlds. Next we have Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. This is number 0 in the Hate You Give series. This is a prequel to the Hate You Give, and it is following Maverick, Big Mav, who is Star's father from the Hate You Give. This one also released January 12th, because I don't think I said that before, but I love the Hate You Give. I've read it like 3 or 4 times now, and I love Maverick. He is an amazing character, he's an amazing father, and I'm so keen to see what is going to happen in Concrete Rose because we're following Maverick. So I am very, very curious. I have not read anything about it because I don't want to know. All I know is it's following Maverick. I'm going head first in. Next, on January 26th, we have A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Bridget Camera. This is the 3rd book to A Curse So Dark and Lonely, and I really, really enjoyed A Curse So Dark and Lonely. It is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Basically, we follow Harper, who is just this regular girl who decides to try and save someone who is being attacked in the street one day, and she ends up being dragged into a fantasy realm. Then we also follow Ren, who is a prince who is living in a castle and is reliving the same summer, autumn? What season in it? It's the same one season. I think it's autumn. Don't quote me on that. But anyways, he is reliving like basically the same 3 months over and over again until he can break the curse by finding his true love. I really enjoyed A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I am so keen to finish out this series. I'm hoping that A Vow So Bold and Deadly is going to be amazing. I think book 2 was even better than book 1, so I'm hoping that continues going upwards, but we will see. So very keen, and it's also another one, like I'm sad that it's going to be over, but like I'm also glad that, you know, it's coming soon. I want to read it. So now moving on to February. Coming out February 2nd, we have Liberate by Guy Trellis, which is the second book to Enchante, which I really enjoyed. It was a historical fantasy and I had so much fun reading it. It involved like the people who invented hot air balloons. It was just really fascinating. I really enjoyed it and I loved the setting. It was very atmospheric and I'm really keen to read Liberate, which I'm pretty sure is the last book in the series. I think there's only meant to be 2 in this series. So this is another conclusion. If I like read all these ones that are on this list, I will have like finished a few series this year. So, well, in 2021. It's currently 2021 filming this. Also, Liberate was also known as Everything That Burns because the author decided to change the title and I don't know why. Enchante fits it so much better than, oh, what's the first book called? Everything That Glitters or something? Something about glitter. Like, sure, but like Enchante fits it so much better than that. That kind of just sounds cheap. But anyways, so also known as that, I did pre-order a copy where the cover says Liberate and it's called Liberate. So I'm really hoping the edition I get says Liberate and not Everything That Burns, because otherwise it won't match my edition of Enchante and I'll be pissed. So that is, yeah, I'm anxiously awaiting that, but I am keen to read it. Next, we actually have another Alexandra Bracken book, and that is Brightly Woven, which is a graphic novel, and it is also releasing February 2nd. So Brightly Woven was a YA fantasy that Alexandra Bracken released years ago. I'm not sure if it was her debut, but I know it was like a long time ago. And basically now someone called Lee Dragoon, I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it, has adapted it into a graphic novel. The story is by Alexandra Bracken, but I don't think she had too much to do with the actual graphic novel making. I'm assuming based on the fact that it was adapted by someone else. So yeah, I haven't actually read this book, but I do enjoy Alexandra Bracken's writing and I love graphic novels, so I'm super keen to give this one a go. It also looks really interesting. It kind of looks like it's a witchy type theme based on the cover. I don't know, it just gives me witchy vibes, like gay witchy vibes, because like the dude's got like a rainbow bit around his face. I don't know. But anyways, I'm very curious, so we'll see how it goes. Next, releasing February 19th is The Gilded Ones by Namina Fauna. I think that's how you pronounce it. I haven't actually read what this one's about, besides that it is a YA fantasy with a person of color main character, but this cover is stunning and I've heard amazing things about this, so I am very, very keen to pick this one up. I keep hearing people hyping it up and I'm very keen. I'm just hoping my expectations don't hinder my enjoyment of it, but I am very keen. And also this cover is just stunning. It's just stunning, and I really, really hope that this has like gold foiling where there is gold on her hair, like the pieces in her hair and on her face. Like if that's gold foiling on the cover, I'm gonna be like so excited. So next we have The Galaxy and the Ground Within by Becky Chambers. This one is releasing February 16th and I am so freaking excited about this. This is the 4th book in the Wayfarers series, which is an adult sci-fi series. The first book, The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, was so freaking amazing. This series is kind of a companion because the first book and the second book are like completely different characters, but then in the third book, characters from the first and the second book kind of come together a little bit. So yeah, I love that aspect. I don't know who this 4th book is following. I have not read anything about it because I literally do not want to know. I'm just gonna jump straight back into this world, but I love Becky Chambers writing. Like the way she writes characters is just amazing. They're like so wholesome and I just love them so much, but also the way she writes worlds is just incredible. They are so freaking in depth because like, yes, this is a sci-fi, it is set in our universe, but there's all these new species that are being introduced and like every single one of them is extremely thought out. They're completely unique and it's just amazing. Like they are so unique and it's just so well written and there's so much diversity in these like species and it's just incredible. I can't wait to jump back in the series and I'm so keen for this. So next we have The Mask Falling by Samantha Shannon, and now as I'm looking at this cover, I remember this one also releases in January because the paperback releases in February on February 16th, but the hardcover actually releases in January, and I looked at the paperback release date. So this one's actually January. I can't remember the date, so I'll put it on the screen. But The Mask Falling by Samantha Shannon is the 4th book to the Bone season, and I'm so freaking keen for this. It has been years since the last book, The Song Rising, released, because between The Song Rising and The Mask Falling, she wrote The Priory of the Orange Tree, which was like, what, 800 pages or something? It was like this fat. It's huge. So it's been a while. And I've been waiting a while. I put off reading The Song Rising for so freaking long because we were waiting for a release date. And as soon as we got a release date, basically, I read The Song Rising, even though the release date was like a year or something after I read it. But I love the series so much. The Bone season is amazing. I've read it twice. I've read the first 2 twice, actually, because I reread them leading up to reading The Song Rising. But I'm so freaking keen for this one. This is one of my most anticipated releases of the year. I cannot wait, and I really hope they release the release date for the 5th book soon, and that it's not like fucking years away again, because I'll go insane. So, The Bone season, our main character can dream walk, and she is kidnapped and taken to this camp where they meet this like out of space species type thing that is trying to rule the world. Yeah, so this one's like a dystopian style sci-fi. So freaking good. It is YA, and I just love it so freaking much. So, moving on to March, we have Red Tigress by Amelia Wenzao, and I can't wait for this book. Like, that's the reason they're on this list. Eliza, stop saying I can't wait for this book. They're on this list, but I am so freaking keen. So, Red Tigress is the sequel to Blood Heir, which I read as an e-arc and absolutely loved it so freaking much. I can't wait to reread this in like hopefully February leading up to the release of Red Tigress. But it is a YA Asian fantasy, and I just loved it so much. It was so amazing. The main character was amazing. The world was so in-depth. It was brutal. It was just chaotic, and it was awesome. There was some controversy to this one when it first came out, but if you want to know my thoughts on the controversy, because I do not agree with it whatsoever, I will leave my link. I'll leave the link to my review down below, because I did explain myself in that, or explain it in that, because I actually read the e-arc. So I read the original copy before the author went in and made some changes to emphasize the fact that she was talking about slightly darker skinned Asian people, and she wasn't being racist towards black people. Yeah, so she's an Asian, she's writing an Asian retelling. Of course she did not refer to black people, and it wasn't racist. What the fuck? Anyways, that happened. But I can't wait for Red Tigress, and I can't wait to reread A Blood Heir, because I've been like putting it off because I'm like, I want to reread it just before I read Red Tigress. So I'm gonna do that. Also, did I say that one was releasing March 2nd? Because it's releasing March 2nd. Next, we have Our Last Echoes by Kate Alice Marshall, which is set to release March 16th. This is a YA thriller. I'm yet to read anything by Kate Alice Marshall, but I do have I Am Still Alive and Rules for Vanishing on my TBR. I actually own Rules for Vanishing, and I don't own I Am Still Alive yet, but I'm hoping to. But I've heard amazing things about it, so both of those. I'm on a huge like mystery thriller kick right now, so I'm super keen to read more YA thrillers, and I've heard amazing things about a previous book, so I'm assuming this one's going to be awesome too. So that is the reason. And also, I don't know anything because I don't read synopsises for thrillers. I just don't. I want to be completely surprised. Just like freak me out, please. Thank you. Next, we have Namesake by Adrienne Young, which is set to release March 16th. This is the sequel to Fable, which I read as an e-arc as well and loved it so freaking much. It is a YA fantasy, and it's basically this girl was dumped on an island by her father, and in a way to like teach her to survive basically, and for years she's been like doing odd jobs and illegal shit to try and like raise money so she can get the fuck off this island. And then she ends up meeting this crew of a pirate ship and convinces them to take her with them in order to get off the island. And there's also this really unique magic which I found very fascinating actually. So yeah, I'm super keen for Namesake. I loved Fable so much. I loved the atmosphere of it. It was very, very atmospheric, and I love the magic system. I love the characters. I love the banter between the characters. So I am very keen. Next, moving on to April, another one of the most anticipated of this most anticipated releases, and that is The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. So I have read and loved The Madoran Chronicles multiple times. It is one of my all-time favorite series. It's in my top 5 all-time favorite series, and I just fucking love it. She makes amazing worlds, and the friendship group in the Madoran Chronicles is just incredible. So, and I also really enjoyed the Whisper duology, which was her YA sci-fi release a little while ago. So I'm very, very keen to read The Prison Healer. It is a YA fantasy. I don't know anything about it because I really do not want to know. I've avoided spoilers for it. I just want to jump back into Lynette No's writing and just like head first. I am so freaking keen. Also, did I say that this releases April 13th? I don't think I did, but it releases April 13th. Next we have The Forest of Stolen Girls by June He. Now I did read The Silence of Bones by June He recently. It is a YA Asian mystery. I really, really enjoyed it. It was historical as well, and it was set in a really interesting time period. I really enjoyed learning. She put a lot of facts in there as well, and I just really, really enjoyed the atmosphere and the world and the mystery element, of course, because I'm in like a mystery high right now. But I loved it. So I'm super keen for the next book that she releases because that was her debut. So I'm like, I'm really keen to see what she's going to do next because her debut was really good. So you can only go up from here, I think. But that one is set to release April 20th. And I also, again, I don't know what that's about because it is a thriller, YA, mystery, whatever. Mystery thriller, I don't read synopsises. Next, we have Dustborn by Erin Bowman. Now, I loved Contagion by Erin Bowman. It was a YA horror. It was absolutely amazing. It was a sci-fi horror and it was incredibly written. I loved it so much. It was creepy, it was scary, it was thrilling, like completely fucking thrilling, and I just loved it so much. And then I read Immunity, which was the sequel, and I was disappointed. But like I've said in my reviews, and when I've spoken about this one before, I did enjoy Immunity by itself, but when you consider it as a companion to Contagion, which was an absolutely insane YA sci-fi horror, and then you compare that to Immunity, which is just a YA sci-fi, it just lost something. So I'm really keen to see what she writes next, but I'm also kind of nervous. So we will see, but this is a YA sci-fi book. It is a standalone, which I'm happy about because the last time she wrote a duology and I would have preferred it as a standalone. So hopefully that means good things. And that one is set to release April 20th, if I didn't mention that already. So moving on to May, and on May 4th, the release of Blade of Secrets by Trisha Levenseller. So I've read 4 of Trisha Levenseller's books. I read Warrior of the Wild, Daughter of the Pirate King, Daughter of the Siren Queen, which are a duology. And I can picture the cover. It's like red and black. The Shadows Between Us. I've read those 4 and I've really enjoyed all of them. All of them have been 4 or 5-star reads, and I'm super keen to see what she writes next because so far I've enjoyed everything she's written, and at the moment she's on my auto-buy list, so let's hope she stays there by this book. We'll see. Blade of Secrets is the first book in a new duology by Trisha Levenseller, so I'm really keen for that because I loved her first duology. But also this one sounds really, really intriguing. All I know about it, like I've only read like the first 2 lines of the synopsis because I'm like, I'm sold. But basically it's about this girl who is a blacksmith and she creates this really, really powerful sword, and she has to go on the run to basically protect humanity from this sword. Yeah, I'm intrigued. Like, I'm so intrigued. Next we have The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. I haven't actually read Descendant of the Crane yet, but it is on my TBR. But it is a YA fantasy, and I really haven't been in a fantasy mood lately, which is one of the reasons why I haven't read it yet, because I am keen for it, but like I said, if I'm not in the mood for YA fantasy, I'm not going to read a YA fantasy. So I'm currently, like this doesn't come out till May 4th, but we'll see how I'm feeling at the time. But as of right now, I'm in a huge YA mystery kick, and this is a YA mystery sci-fi combo, so I am very intrigued. I love anything that's like a mystery mixed with a sci-fi or a mystery mixed with a fantasy. That's my favorite genre. So coincidentally, I'm very keen for this because YA mystery sci-fi. And as I've said before, I don't read synopsises for mysteries. So now moving on to June, and next we have another one of the most anticipated of this list, and that is The Box in the Woods by Maureen Johnson. Truly Devious is on my top 5 favorite series, and this is the 4th book in this series. So in the original trilogy, they basically wrapped up the Truly Devious mystery, but now our main character is being recruited to solve another mystery. And I'm really keen. It features the same characters that we know and love from Truly Devious and our main character Stevie, who I really enjoy. And I'm so freaking keen. I love this series. I love this world. I love the mysteries. They are so complex, and I'm very keen to see what the hell is gonna happen next, and why is there a box in the woods? Why is there a box in the woods? That's really what I want to know. That one is set to release June 15th, so I've still got a while to go. So now moving on to August, and we have one that's releasing August 3rd, and I literally don't know anything about it besides the fact that it is a YA fantasy horror with LGBT rep. I'm curious, and also the cover. Like, this is stunning. But that is The Dead in the Dark by Courtney Gould, which you can see because it's on the screen. But the cover is really interesting. I love the combination of fantasy and horror, and it's LGBT rep. So I'm very curious, and I don't particularly want to know what this one's about. I'm really fascinated, and I'm very keen to pick this one up. So last two, and we have two that do not yet have covers. So in September, we have the release of Defy the Night by Bridget Camera. So we already have another Bridget Camera book on this list, and A Vow So Bold and Deadly. That is the last book in her trilogy. Now she is coming out with another one, like in the same year. Like, what? That doesn't often happen, but this one's meant to be releasing on September 7th, and I'm very curious. I don't know anything about it. I haven't read a synopsis, but I love To Go So Dark and Lonely, so I'm keen to see whatever the hell she comes out with next. And then we have a book by two authors who I love, and I'm so freaking curious as to what the hell these two are gonna write, because they both write very, like, dark YA fantasy. So I'm very curious, but this is All of Us Villains by Amanda Foody and Christina Lynn Herman. So Amanda Foody, I have read Daughter of the Burning City as well as the Ace of Shades trilogy. Loved them both, and I've read The Devouring Grey by Christine Lynn Herman. I am hoping to read the second book, The Deck of Omens, very soon. This combo is making me so freaking excited, like, so excited. I have no idea what this is about. I don't even know if there's a synopsis out right now. I know the cover hasn't come out. We have a release date and a name. I think that's about it. So I'm very, very curious to see what this author duo does, because it's going to be dark and it's going to be fantasy and it's going to be insane, because like the world that Christine Lynn Herman created in The Devouring Grey is really, really fascinating, but like the freaking imaginativity, that's not the right word, you know what I mean, of Amanda Foody is just insane. Like the shit that she comes up with, like I'm like, how did you think of that? What is wrong with you? Are you okay? Yeah, so I'm very curious about this. Very, very curious. So that is the 21 books I'm most anticipating of 2021. Let me know in the comments what you're most anticipating. It can be 1, it can be 5, I don't care. Let me know in the comments. And are you curious about any of these? Especially like that last one, All of Us Villains. Christine Lynn Herman, Amanda Foody. Who else loves this combo? Like, what is gonna happen? Who's curious? So that is it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video.